Okay, we're at Mem Gimel Amid Beis. I'd like to start from the two dots again. The two dots again in the middle of the page, a little past the page. So Ish Mekadesh Espito, a person can Mekadesh his daughter when she's a Naira, and certainly when she is a Kitana. It's non Hassam. We have a Mishnah in Masech the Gittin that we didn't learn. We learned not too long ago. Naira Murasa, right? He v'avia mekablan eskita. Both her and her father can accept her get. Amrav Yehuda, ein shtei yadayim zochas ke'echad, only one can. And who's that one? Elavia, only the father mekablan eskita. So Machloikis by Naim Ras, who's getting divorced from Erison. Against one, she has Nesu and she's out of the rishus of the father. Right. So now Erison says the Tanakama, either her or her father could accept the get, and Rabbi Yehuda says only the father. Another din, that's a different din. Anyone who's not able to watch their get, primarily a deranged person, and which she's going to come back. And it says, and she'll leave his house, and not someone who's going to come back to the house. The same machloikas we have by Gerushin, we have by Kidushin. Can a Naira be Makabal her own Kidushin? According to the Tanakama, yes. Just like she can Makabal a get, she can Makabal her own Kidushin. According to Rabbi Yehuda, that only the father could receive the get, only the father would be able to go ahead and accept her Kidushin. Only the father would be able to accept her Kidushin. Okay, we're just going over the Gemara that we saw yesterday. Rabbi Yossi, that's the Reish Lakish. That's Reish Lakish. The same Machloikis. Rabbi Yochanan says Machloikis the Gerushin, whether a Naira can accept it. Aval Kidushin Dibria Kolavia V'lohi, says Rabbi Yochanan. Everyone admits that the Naira cannot accept her Kidushin. Okay, so that's the Machloikis, guys. To set the scene again, this is just yesterday's Gemara. We quickly went over it. Right. What's the halacha by a Naira accepting a Kedushin? Can she accept it or not? According to Reish Lakish, the Naira cannot. The Naira could. The Naira could, and according to Rabbi Yochanan, the Naira can't. According to Rabbi Yehuda, according to even according to the Tanakama and Rabbi Yehuda, only the father and not what and not her, So that nafkamina would be like Rabbi Yochanan in the Naira. Again, according to Reish Lakish, it's the same din. Tanakama would say what? That either one could accept it, and according to Rabbi Yehuda, only she could accept it. And according to Rabbi Yochanan, even by Kidushin, right, everyone would be Maida, only the father and not the Naira. Good. Only the father, not the Naira. My time with Rabbi Yochanan, Aliba de Rabbanon, that what's the difference? Why by Gerushin does Rabbi Yochanan say only the father, and the Tanakama says both, and why by Kidushin Divya Kol only the father? It's Gerushin the Mechneses Atzma Levishus Aviyah. Gerushin that she's coming back home to her father, Bein Hi or Bein Aviyah, right? Either one. Gerushin again, that's coming home. Either one. The Tanakama says either one can accept it. Kidushin the mafkasat some rishus aviyah. Kidushin where she's exiting the rishus of her father. Right, in that scenario, then only the father could go ahead and do it. Okay, so again, we're focusing on the sheet the guys of Rabbi Yochanan. What does Rabbi Yochanan say again? This is very wordy. That by Kidushin can a Naira accept? Says Rabbi Yochanan by Gerushin either one. According to right, but again, Rabbi Yehuda is only the father. Right? Gerushin either one, Kidushin only the father. Svara being by Gerushin when she's coming back, so she could accept. Kidushin where she's leaving, only the father could accept. That's the svara right now. Okay, Velohi, excuse me, Avia Velohi, Bahari Maimer the Mafgas Atzam Rishus Avia. Okay, let's go back in time. What is Maimer? What? Kidushin they're running by a Yavama. Kidushin is running by a Yavama, right? That a Yavama, that even though the only way that she could take off the chalitza is not the zika is al yedei bia, right? But if you give Maimah, what would Maimah do? It would make her unique to that brother, and none of the other brothers would be able to go ahead and marry her. In addition, you would need a get for the Maimah, right? And okay, and you need a get for the Maimah. Okay, But Maimer de Mafkas Atzim Rishus Avia, Maimer would be taking her out of her father's Rishus. So let's say she got married when she was a Naira. She's still a Naira. Her husband dies. She's now falling to now. So according to Rabbi Yochanan, only the father should be able. Guys, let's be right. Only the father should be able to accept the Maimer. Since Kidushin and Maimer are synonymous, it's taking out of the Rishus. If a Naira is falling to Yibum, yes, and she should, according to Rabbi Yochanan, only the father should be able to accept the Maimer because she's leaving his Rishus, correct? Says the Gemara, Kitana, it's maybe it should be a Tanya. Kitana mina Erisin, a Kitana from Erisin, Ein Oisin ba Maimer, Elamidas Avia, only the father, V'hanaira, Beimidas Atzma, Beimidas Avia. 1 second. So you're telling me Maimer by Kedushin, Midas Atzma, she could go, in fact, right? You're telling me by Maimer, Midas Atzma, she could accept. But you just told me once you're mafgas in the Rishus, only the father should be able to accept. That's the kasha on the svara we want to say in Rabbi Yochanan. Good. It's a kasha. Maimer, you're leaving, and nonetheless, the Brisa says that what? That the Naira could accept her own. That the Naira could accept her own. So we're looking back for a different shot. Ella, if you want to learn an interpretation of why Rabbi Yochanan holds by Kidushin, everyone's moida, even the Tanakama, that only the father could accept the Kidushin. Rabbi Yosi bar Chanina, my time Rabbi Yochanan, aliba de Rabbanon, Kidushin de midaita, Kidushin, that's with her das avia v'loihi. That's her father and not her. Gerushin the balkarcha, but Gerushin that's against her will, then bein he bein avia, then say her and say her father could go ahead and accept it. Kidushin, that's midaita, meaning that you need das makna, guys. You need das makna. Kidushin, in other words, who is the koina by Kidushin? It's the husband. Who's the makna? It's the girl, correct? The girl is the makna. She's bequeathing, giving herself over. So over here, she's a naira. So you need midaita. So therefore, we say we need a das makna. We'll have the das of the father rather than her das. Mashen king kedushin, which we don't care, gerushin, which you don't care about her das, she can go ahead and accept again. That's the svara. That's the svara. Okay. Again, das makna. So you need the father's das to be makna. So only the father can accept the kedushin for the naira, according to everybody, according to Tanakama, and certainly according to Rabbi Yehuda. But gerushin, which is again, it's a faith accompli, has nothing to do with her. So Mamela, she could accept it. She could accept it.
Is she really leaving the father's rishus by Maimer? She's a Yavama.
Right.
She's out of the father's rishus.
She's a naira. She was out already, but there was no. Oh, you say there was Nisuin already? Yeah. There was Nisuin already.
She was married.
Let's see. The Hari Maima dimidaita. Maima dimidaita. Okay, that means what? You need a das makna. V'katani bein hi. So it's not a kasha. And achinami by Maima she could, right? That's all we want to show Rabbi is the svara is not a good svara. And as a mitzias, you're right. There's no, but she could be, right? That she could be, right? So you're asking for the father, does she go back to the father? Maybe it's from Erison. It's from Erison. That's why there wasn't a suin. It's from Erison. This is all speaking from Erison. It's not speaking the suin. That's the Naira Murasa. That she died, the marriage was never consummated. Does that help you out? Yeah. Okay, so now. So what do you see? That even though you need a das acheres makna, even though you need a das acheres makna, nonetheless, she could go ahead and accept the maimer. And for the Gemara, hasam b'maimer de bal karcha. This is maimer that could be forced upon her, so it's not midaita. The svara midaita is a good svara. The svara midaita is a good svara. The svara that you need a das acheres makna. By maimer, you do not need her das. Maimer, you don't need her das. For Rabbi Hiditanya, Someone goes ahead, throws money to against her will to a Yavama Shlemi Daita. Rabbi says Yekaina. My time of the Rabbi. What's the reason Rabbi says Yekaina? Garma Mibiya. We learn Kidushin of Yavama from the Kinyan of Yavama. What's the Kinyan of Yavama? Bia. Ma Bia the Yavama, Bal Karcha. We said Bia the Yavama works even against her will. Af Hachanami by Maimer, Bal Karcha. Okay, so that's the svara of Rebbe. Why Maimer will be against her will. The Rabbanan say it doesn't work. Why? Rabbanan Savi Afina mi Kedushin. Ma Kedushin de Midaita, Af Hachanami de Midaita. Okay, so now, guys, let's so we have a svara. What's the Gemara saying? We have a machlokes. Let's connect the dots, okay? We have a machlokes between the Chachamim and Rebbe Huda about a Nairu Murasa. Could she accept her get or not? Says, or just need the father. Says the Tanakama, either her or her father. Says Rebbe Huda, only her. Says Reish Lakish, and who adin the Kedushin, right? According to Tanakama, either one could accept the Kedushin. According to Rebbe Yehuda, only she can accept the Kedushin. Comes along Rebbe Yochanan says the din of the father and her being able to accept is only by a get. When it comes to Kedushin, only the father. What's the svara? Gerushin, that's against her will. It's not midaita, so you don't need a das acheres. So therefore, she could accept a get. Whereas Kedushin, you need a das acheres, you need the father. Fred the Gemara from Maimer. Maimer what? Maimer l'chayra is also needed das acheres, and you see Maimer rat does work that even the Naira could go ahead and accept the Maimer. Says the Gemara, no, we're not speaking about Maimer that's midaita. We're speaking about Maimer that's shalai midaita. We're speaking about Maimer that's similar to a get. Like you can divorce her against the will, you can give Maimer against the will. Whose opinion is that? That's the opinion of Rebbe. Where does Rebbe get that from? Because he learns in the sug of Yavamis, we know that you could go ahead and be miyabim against her will. So if you give me miyabim against the will, you can give kedushin against the will. Says the Chachamim, no, Maimer Bal Karcha doesn't work because we don't view Maimer as a segment of Yavamis. We view Maimer as a segment of Kedushin. And just like Kedushin, you need midat, you can't force it upon her. So to the Maimer, you can't force it upon her. But like Rebbe, we have a svara in Rebbe Yochanan, why, in fact, everyone would admit that a Naira, only a father could accept the get. The Kedushin. Okay, there was a lot of words. I hope it made a little sense. It says the Rabbi. Hachanami mistabra, to say that what it's speaking by Maimer Bal Karcha. Hachanami mistabra, to say it's speaking about Maimer Bal Karcha. Ki de kometarbetz Rabbi Yochanan midiktani seifa. The brayso that we said above, guys. The katana bein min eris and bein min asuin. Masha'en game b'kedushin. In other words, by Maimer, guys. Let's look at the brayso above. Katana min erisin b'Maimer elamidas avia, right? Beimi atzma, beimi da v'anaira beimi das atzma beimi das avia, and mashenkin b'kedushin, which means only the das of the father. Good, only the das of the father. So meaning, well, 1 second. Why did Reish Lakish say? Reish Lakish said the same machlokes. It's mashma over here that everyone holds that by Kedushin, Mashenke Kedushin, the only one of a Naira Umurasa is Kedushin. The only one who can accept the Kedushin is the father. What did Reish Lakish say? The same machlokes we have by get, we have by Kedushin, that even she could accept the Kedushin. So it says Gemara, Elanema Tabi Tiyufted Reish Lakish. Say it's an upshlak on Reish Lakish. We see only the father could accept it. Reish Lakish said even she could accept it. Says the Gemara, Amalach Reish Lakish, Hamani Rebbe Yehuda. Who's the Tana of that brayso that we mentioned above? It's Rebbe Yehuda. The Amar Ein Shtei Yadim Yadayim Zechus Ka'achas. I said my din in the Tanakama. Just like Gerushin both can accept, so too Kedushin both can accept. Rabbi Yehuda said no. Rabbi Yehuda said by Gerushin only the father can accept. And this brayso that said by Kedushin only the father can accept the Kedushin and not the Naira, it's Rabbi Yehuda. Right. Okay, guys, got it? You have the Cheshbon. Okay, it's Rabbi Yehuda. Mashen came be Kedushin. Mashen came be Gerushin mi boile. Fred the Gemara Kasha, it's Rabbi Yehuda. Why are you telling me the Chiddush of Kedushin? Tell me a bigger Chiddush. Guys, what's a bigger Chiddush? To tell me that by get, she could accept, or by Kidushin, the Kidushin she can accept, or even by get that either could accept. Look at Rashi. Says Rashi. Mashenke begerishin miboile, vafilu begerishin the isnu bal korcha polig Reb Yehuda nami v'amar ein shtei yadayim zocha kachas. In other words, if you're telling me you're limited to one, there's a bigger chiddush to tell me that limitation is in Gerushin than Kedushin. In Kedushin, at least you need das makna, but bal korcha against the will, anyone should be able to accept. So if you're telling me it's Rabbi Yehuda, why did you limit it to the less of a chiddush? Tell me Gerushin, which is against her will, which she has nothing to do whatsoever, and even there only the father could accept. That would be a much bigger chiddush. Says the Gemara, Einachinami, but I did it, Tani Maimer, since in the ratio of the, again, Brisa that we mentioned above, we learned Maimer, the Dami, the Kedushin, Tanya Nami, Mashen came be Kedushin. Good? So now we've held serve, okay? Again, just to connect the dots again, we have machlokus between Rabbi Yochanan and Tanakama and Rabbi Yehuda as to what extent a naira has, what koyach she has. By Gerushin, she could accept her get. By Kedushin, according to Reish Lakish, she could also accept her get. According to Rabbi Yehuda, in neither case could she accept it. In neither case, only the father. According to Tanakama, only by get could she accept, by Kedushin not. Svara being of what? Of that you need a das acheres makna, you need Hashem came Gerushin. Brisa now that says that only the father by Kidushin, Kashan Reish Lakish, who says what the Tanakama even says the father, says the Gemara that Brisa is not speaking about, it's speaking about Rabbi Yehuda's shita, not the Tanakama shita. The Gemara, if it's speaking about Rabbi Yehuda's shita, tell me the bigger chiddush, tell me about Gerushin, where what? Only her? Why only her? Why father? Why only the father? You don't need anyone else. So says, no, since it's discussing Maimer in the ratio, which is Kedushin, we said the din of Kedushin in the Sefer. That's where we're holding right now. Says the Gemara. Maishna Maimer, what's the difference, Maimer? That the Naira could. Guys, right? Guys, what's the Lashon? Guys, Maimer, a Naira, either the father or the, look at me. The father or the Naira could accept Maimer. Is Maimer a form of Kedushin?
Yeah.
Let's do the bobblehead. Yeah. And then in the same brisa we say, Masha'en came be Kedushin, according to Rabbi Yehuda, only what? Only father. Why would Rabbi Yehuda hold by Maimer that she could accept it? If they're both Kedushin, why would Rabbi Yehuda? You're telling me that whole brisa that I mentioned above is Rabbi Yehuda, and you're saying that is a chilik between Maimer and what and Kedushin. Why? Maimer is a form of Kedushin, and you're telling me she could accept it. Masha'en came by Kedushin, she can't. Why? There's more hoyel v'zkukavay medes. You know why? By Maimer is different. Maimer, she is a shtickle there already. In other words, she has the zika. She can't marry anyone else in the shuk. You don't need such a das acheres makna over here. The dead husband, he facilitated that kinyan by dying, and the Torah said you fall to your sister and your brother-in-law. So in that case, even Rabbi Yehuda would be moida, she would be able to accept. That's the difference between that and Kedushin. Gishmak. Says you never thought Yuvamis would come in handy, right? You thought that you finish it and that's it. No. Says the Gemara, Hashta the Asas Lahachi. Now that you come to the chilik between Maimer and Kedushin, Rabbi Yochanan nami like tikshazacha meikara. Shiny Maimer hoil v'zekukavay medes. The original kasha, guys. What do we say? Go back to the original kasha. Says what's the reason? One is machnis and one is not. Maimer is machnis. Says the Gemara, I'll tell you why. That's the difference is Maimer is machnis because Maimer what is kukavay medes. And Mela, you could have the original taina of the difference between machnis and mitzi. Very good, guys. Baruch Hashem. Tonight, ha'ish mikadosh es bita k'shinaira boyu b'shluchay. A person can mikadosh his daughter, our Mishnah, when she's a naira, either himself or a shliach. Boyu b'shluchay in, ba u'b'shlucha loy. 1 second. But didn't you, Reish Lakish, tell me that what by Kedushin she could? Guys, light Reish Lakish, like the Tanakama, she could accept a Kedushin, correct? Like the Rabbi Yochanan, only the father could accept a Kedushin, right? Says the Gemara, Bo b'shluchaloi tiyufta de Reish Lakish. It's an upshlag Reish Lakish. Amlach Reish Lakish Hanami Rabbi Yehuda. It's also Rabbi Yehuda. I miss this Rabbi Yehuda. I miss this Rabbi Yehuda. Like Rabbi Yehuda, Inachinami, only the father. The Gemara, Mimatzas Mikmislak Rabbi Yehuda. Is it possible that that's Ein on Mishnah according to Rabbi Yehuda? For Ketani Seifa, right? Now the Seifa, guys, is Mishnah on Memvav Amid Aleph. So let's look at Mishnah Memvav Amid Aleph. There's the Mishnah on Memvav Amid Aleph. Someone says to a woman, Hiskachili bitam rezu. Be mukudeshes to me with this date. Hiskachili boibzu. And he's a second lashon of mikudeshes. He says lashon hiskachi. Im yesh ba'achas men shava pruta. If one has a shava pruta of mikudeshes, b'mlavein mikudeshes. Since he said the lashon hiskachi twice, it's mechalik to two Kidushins. Memela, you're not going to be mitzaref the two dates to a shava pruta. Bizu, then in yeshava pruta bekula mikudeshes, because you only said one lashon of Kidushin. Again, the main part of the first case, fellas, is you're using two lashonos of Kidushin to be mechalik. Good? Okay, outside. Let's make this Gemara easy. Outside, eye contact. There's halacha in the Torah the following. If I entrust you to watch something for me, I'll do it the other way around. Avami Wyman says, listen, I'm going to entrust you with my most precious item, my default sawzall, Milwaukee sawzall. Okay? I'm a Milwaukee sawzall, right? Come on, this guy. We're giving a real example of Avami, not Gemara's. The one he uses to cut his cowboy sticks. Okay, smoker. Okay, he trusts me to watch a smoker. Good. Now he comes to me, and 1 second, he entrusts me with a smoker. Dr. Preston trusts me with his optical things. Rabbi entrusts me with his car, and Ari entrusts me with his liquor. Okay, so each one entrusts me with something that's very dear to them. Right?
You're moving out of town
now?
Which one is
okay. And now they come to me and they say, where is it? And I say, Nishka Tzoygin and Nishka Floygin, Lahadam, it never was. And I swear to that, and then I admit the truth. I'm going to have to bring an Oshem Gezelos, and I'm going to have to pay a Keren V'chaimish. Good? So now, let's say they all came to me simultaneously, and I say Shvua, and I say Shvua, L'cha, L'cha, L'cha. Says Reb Shimon, you would not be chayiv on each one, because you only said the Lashon Shvua once. I'd have to say Shvua L'cha, Shvua L'cha, Shvua L'cha, Shvua L'cha. I'd have to say the Lashon Shvua. So now, if this Mishnah over here that said the same thing, you had to say Hiskatzi. You had to use that Lashon to go ahead and define each one. So Memela, who is the Tana of the Mishnah on Mem Vav? It's Reb Shimon. The same Reb Shimon who says by Shvuas Ashem Gezelos, you have to say the Lashon of Shvua, 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 and it's not enough to say Shvua L'cha, L'cha, L'cha. It won't be enough to say Hiskachi, Bezu, Bezu, Bezu. So Memela, we're going to prove that our Mishnah is according to Rabbi Shimon and not Rabbi Yehuda, and that's going to lead to the problems, right? Okay. So now we have a kasha. What's a kasha? Our Mishnah says that the Naira the Naira would not be able to go ahead and be Mekadosh herself, because it says, boy, him, and not her. But not her, not him. He can't do it. The shlucha, but it's his shliach, but not the Naira. Says Reish Lakish, who says the Naira could accept the Kidushin, the Mishnah's Rabbi Yehuda. We're not going to go ahead prove the Mishnah's Reb Shimon using what? The Mishnah we just mentioned of Iskachi, and the Mishnah in Masechta Shvuas regarding Shvuas HaPikadon. Says the Gemara Vaita. The Tani Seifa, the Mishnah Daf Mem Vav, Ha'oimel Isha, someone says to an Isha, Iskachli B'tam Rezu, Iskachli B'zu, V'aminan, Ma Tani Iskachi, V'amar Rabba Reb Shimon he. It's the Reb Shimon of what? Of Shvuas HaPikadon thing. Damar you won't be chayiv a separate carbon shvua on each and every one until you say the lashon of shvua, shvua, shvua. So therefore, the same Reb Shimon shvua, shvua, shvua is the Shimon iskachi, iskachi. So how can you say the halach is like Yehuda? Now the easy way out is to say Reb Yehuda is like Shimon. V'chi tema kul Reb Yehuda. When it comes to halachas the shvua, he also like Reb Shimon, and Memela by Tamra, Hiskachi, he'd also hold like Reb Shimon, and therefore the whole Mishnah can be according to Reb Yehuda, and therefore it's not a problem, because according to Reb Yehuda, only the father can accept the Kidushin and not the Naira, and therefore Reish Lakish would hold serve. Did you follow that? Umi Savala, does Reb Yehuda hold like Reb Shimon? Vatanya. Klal ein chayiv ela achas. If you say klal one lashon shvua, you only chayiv once. Prat, if you go ahead and break it up, chayiv kol achas v'achas. Divrei Reb Meir. Reb Yehuda Omer shvua loy lach chayiv kol achas v'achas. You use more. Guys, only one lashon shvua you be chayiv. Who's speaking? Reb Yehuda. And Reb Yehuda saying you don't need shvua. One shvua will do the job. Memele hiskachi cannot be Reb Yehuda. So back to the original question on Reb Shimon ben Lakish. Reb Eliezer Omer loy lecha shvua chayiv kol achas v'achas. Reb Shimon Omer lo olam en chayiv at shiyom shvua l'chol achas v'echad. Bottom line is put a question mark over there. So you got a problem. Elakul Reb Shimon he. Okay. So now, we have a problem. Good? We have a problem. What's our problem? Guys, let's go back. Go back. Well, we're going back to the Kasha. Going back to the Kasha. What did Reish Lakish say? The same achloikis we have by Gerushin, we have by Kidushin, meaning the Tanna Kama holds that a Naira would be able to accept the Kidushin. We have our Mishnah saying, Ha'ish Mekadish Boya B'Shluchoy HaNaira, right? The father could accept Kedushin, only the father, not her. Kasha on Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish. And for the Gemara, that's our Mishnah is according to Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda holds that what? Only the father. Says the Gemara, I'll prove to you our Mishnah came from Rabbi Yehuda, because the next Mishnah, Mistama, what? Is the same Tana of our Mishnah, right? And therefore, you want to say Rabbi Yehuda is the Tana of that Mishnah is Rabbi Shimon. Why? Because it says Iskashi, and Rabbi Shimon holds Shvua. You'll say Rabbi Yehuda holds like Rav Shimon. We see in the Shavuos he doesn't hold like Rav Shimon. So now we have a kasha on Reish Lakish. Good, because the Mishnah can't be according to Rabbi Yehuda. The Mishnah is Rav Shimon. So it says the Gemara now, and for the Gemara, Ella, what's the teretz? Ella kula Rav Shimon he. Ubishlichus sava like Rabbi Yehuda. And when it comes to shlichus, he holds like Rabbi Yehuda that only what? Only the father and not him. Very good. In other words, instead of saying Rabbi Yehuda is the Tana of the Mishnah on Chavav, we're saying Rabbi Shimon, who's the Tana of the Mishnah on Chavav, is the Tana of the Mishnah on Mem Gimel, Mem Beis. He's the Tana. Rabbi Shimon is the Tana of the Mishnah. And Rabbi Shimon holds like Rabbi Yehuda, only the father and not her. Therefore, you can't ask upon me that only the father, because I said my din according to the Tana Kama, who argues on Rabbi Shimon. Rabbi Shimon agrees with Rabbi Yehuda. Elakul Reb Shimoni Mishlicha Savalak Reb Yehuda. Okay, you guys, you good? We have a teretz. Ravasi loyolu based medrash. Okay. Anyway, Ravasi loyolu based medrash. Ashkel Reb Zera. He found Reb Zera. Amalei Mar Omar Idna Beit Midrash. What did they say in the base medrash today? Amalei Reb Zera told Ravasi, Afanem lo yayil. He also didn't go. However, Rav Avin have a ayil. Rav Avin he went. For Oma Chavusa Kula Reb Yochanan. Everyone, the Chabura said the Allah is like Reb Yochanan, that by Kidushin only the father could accept the Kidushin of an Ira. But Sabach Reish Lakish ki Kruchya, and Reish Lakish was screaming like some type of bird. What was he screaming? V'yatzav haisa. We have a hekesh of ayali yitzia, and just like by Gerushin the Naira could accept it, so to by Kidushin the Naira should accept it. No one listened to him. That's what Rav Avram reported from the Beis Medrash, that the halacha was in conjunction with Rabbi Yochanan, that a Naira cannot accept a Kidushin, that a Naira cannot accept Kidushin. Amalei Rav Asi and Rav Yehuda said Rav Ovin bar Samcha Habe. I guess Rav Asi and Rav Zera said to each other, one said to the other, is he a bar Samcha? Amlayin? Yeah, he is. What's Kama Kimin Yama Latigni? Who? It's like going from the sea right into the frying pan. In other words, when the things come distorted, when they get pierced along, right? You remember the game of telephone, you start one end of the world and then it gets the next. It's like you started one end and the next one, the Jets won the Super Bowl. Sorry. Yeah. Anyway, it always goes back to that. Anyway, so the Eagle fan going like this. Anyway, so when you go from the sea, guys, directly to the frying pan, it's direct. So in other words, hearing it from an oven, it hasn't been passed down. You know, you're getting it right from the source. Don't think it was Rav Oven Bar Chia, Rav Oven Bar Kahana, El Rav Oven Stam Rav Oven. We have to know exactly who said it. You should know if someone said something else, another Rav Oven, to be able to go ahead and make steers to each other. Guys, the bottom line is by Kidushin, a Naira cannot accept a Kidushin because we pass like a Biachman. That's the whole Gemara. It's a very sadistic Gemara, but it's very nice. Okay. Naira Mahu shetase shliach lekabel gita miyad baila. A Naira, can she make a shliach to accept the get from her husband? Can a Naira accept the get from her husband? Yes. According to only according to Tanakama. According to the Tanakama, Sai according to Reish Lakish, Sai according to Rabbi Yochanan, correct? Only Rabbi Yehuda said not. Good. So now, Naira Masha Tasa Shliach L'Kabel Get. She make a shliach to Makabel get. Do we say Kiyat Avia Damya? And just like a father could make a shliach, she can make a shliach. Or Kichotza Avia Damya, or her hand to receive is like the chotzer of a father. Kiyat Avia Damya Ma Avia Mash V'Shliach Ach Hinami Mash V'Shliach. Aidil Mekichotza Avia Damya. In other words, the lumdis, guys. What's the lumdis behind a father? Guys, when a father accepts a get, does it work mitam chatzar that he is considered v'nasan biyada, or it's the father's yad? And clearly it's the father's yad. The father has a yad. He can go ahead, can marry her off. He can go ahead and he can accept. He can accept the get, accept the kedushin. A Naira is a Chiddush. She's still in the jurisdiction of the father. She's a Naira Hamu Rasa. She's not in a Sua. That she can accept the get. Does it get the equal power of the father? Or does it consider like if you take the get and put it in the father's Rishus, so too you put it in the hands of the Naira? My nafkamina, whether she can make a shliach or not. If her hand is kiyad Avia, like the hand of a father, she would be able to make a shliach to accept the get. But if it's like kichatzer baila, like the chatzer of Avia, then she would not be able to. So alumdus, how to view the Naira's hand, how Kabbalah, how do you view a Kabbalah? That's the tooth studim over here. Do we view it like the yad and she can make a shliach, or do we say no? Do we say it's like a chatzer and she can't make a shliach? Umi misafgale, ay misupik. Umi misafgale l'rava. Let's see Rashi. Umi fourth line down. Umi misafgale l'rava sheyei al adam ben das toiris chatzer kashu nir, that a person who has das when they're awake, it's a chatzer. Now, going back in time, fellas, we said that an eved can go ahead and accept. You can put it. You could use an eved that only if the eved is sleeping, and not only sleeping, had to be tied up. Sleeping, why? It doesn't, because he doesn't have his own das, and tied up because anyone who's capable of moving, even if they're not moving. Okay, so therefore, how could you entertain the thought that this girl would have the din of a chutzner? After all, she's awake and she's watching herself and she can walk. So you have a problem of chutzner mishtameres and you have a problem of chutzner mehaleches. You got a double problem over here. So again, we've had this before. If it sounds familiar, we did it in Perek HaZorek, guys. We did this in the Perek in Gittin. I think it's the 8th Perek called Perek HaZorek. I think it's the 8th Perek. V'amarava kasav get v'nasam b'yad avda. If you take a get and you put it in the hands of her eved, yashan umisham rasoi. If A sleeping and he's being watched, how do you say get? Near, if he wakes up, ain't a get. Near am I ain't a get. It's being watched by himself, not her. So how can you entertain the fact that you should work as chatzar? After all, it's being watched by herself, and that's not a chatzar. They should have thrown in yashan also, sleeping as well. There's the Gemara. So that can't be. So what's the shaila then? Is it as strong as the father? That she could go ahead and make a shliach, but perhaps not. It's not as strong. So Amalei Rav Nachman told Rava, she can't make a shliach. It's not as strong. She's not able to make a shliach. She could accept it for herself, even though it's a yad, but she can't make a shliach. She's not able to make a shliach. Okay. Esavek. Kitana sha'amra, a katana that says, iskabali giti, be makabel my get, ain't a get. Why? Because she can't make a shliach. Ashi get liyada, she can't make a shliach for Kabbalah. Mashma naira, how is that get? Mashma naira could go ahead. Kashan Rav Nachman. How can you Rav Nachman say that a naira cannot make a shliach? Here it's mashma, only a katana can make a shliach. Again, shliach Kabbalah. Mashma naira could. And for the Gemara, you know why? She has no father. She has no father. How do you know that? Hamidiktani sefer im amar loy avia save kibel get lebiti. And what's the balachser boy? Once a lachser, you can't be chayzer. Mechal dereisha b'diyesh la'av askinon. So the how can you say he's no father? It says it says in the sefer, and if the father says in the kabel get for my daughter, he can't change his mind. So you see, there's a father in the house. So how can you tell me there's no father? Says it's missing words. Here's the way you have to learn. Kitana shamra, kitana that says iskabeli b'makabel my get, ain't a get achigia get liyada. It's not a get till what it reaches her hand. Why? Because she can't make a shliach. Her naira, how is a get? But a naira it is a get. A naira it is a get because she could make a shliach. The naira is a get. That's when there's no father. Then she can make it. But if there's a father and it's saving Kibel Labiti Gita writes about Lachser, he wants to change his mind. It's too late. It's divorced already. So in other words, Einachinami, we held serve. A naira cannot go ahead and make a shliach. If the father's dead, he's out of the picture. You could make a shliach. Itma Kitana Sheniskacha Shaloy Ledasavia. A Katana accepted Kidushin. Now it's Katana keeping Mekadosh herself. So she accepted Kidushin, says the Ritva, without the das of a father, right? And we don't know if the father would be happy or not. Amar Shmuel, Tzricha get, but Tzricha miyan. She accepts Kidushin, she needs both a get and she needs miyan. So this seems to be a very, very, very questionable thing. The only time you have miyan is when the father's out of the picture. Miyan is an answer to a Kidushin D'Rabbanan facilitated by a mother or a brother that we want to keep squeaky clean, away from this nus. So she accepts that you need a get and miyan. That would seem to be counterintuitive. It would seem to be totally doesn't make any sense. So Amma Karna says Karna Dvarim Begav. These words are outside. They don't make any sense. Im get lama miyan v'miyan lama get. In other words, if there's a father around, then there's no miyan, only get. And if there's no father around, then there's me and without a get. It doesn't stim together. It does not stim together, the two. Let's see Rashi over here. Ketana sheniskach shloya dasavia, loy omar loy avia lekabla. The father did not tell him lekabla kedushin. Loy yaden, he doesn't know. Ubiketana hakomoidim she'en kiddush asel kedushin shloy ledaitai. Everyone's maida, even the one who says a naira could accept kedushin. Everyone's maida by a ketana that you can't accept kedushin. Everyone's maida by a ketana you can't accept kedushin. So now said Shmuel, tzricha get v'tzricha mion. Kidamet kaima lekamei, as we're going to say later on, because right now Rashi is telling you it doesn't make any sense. Oma Karna, says Rashi, Devarim begav, kach Oma Karna, name of an Amoira. Yesh Devarim b'seich davazeh, Kleimer. Yesh tshuva, the tema b'davish, b'divei Shmuel. Yeah, no, you have a tshuva of Shmuel's words. They're pelodic, they're wondrous. What is Shmuel saying? What is Shmuel saying? So let's get a little clarity. So, Amulei Harmar Ukva Ubeidina Bikafre, they said to him, I guess they said to Karna, there's Mar Ukva and his Bezdin in the town of Kafri. Shmuel was in Ardoi, was far away. So he told him, Afchua, and go send over there, and they'll find out what the story is with this. So Afchua, and they went ahead, what? Afchua, they turned it around. The Shadlul Kamei Derav. Right. They went ahead, look at Rashi. Ma'ukva Ubezdin Bekafri, Shem Makoim, Samach Lano, Im Nardoi, Sheshmul Shon Rachik Imenu, Bob Initial Ma'ukva, yes, what the story is. So what happened is, Afchuhu, they turned around the Shita, the Shadrul Kamei Derav, the Shem Karna. Tzricha get umiyon, v'shem Shmuel devarim begav. In other words, we have guys outside. We have Shmuel saying you need get in miyon if the katana was makabel kedushin. We have Karna saying what in the world is going on. Mar Ukva got the shaila. He turned around the shitas. He said Shmuel said what's going on, and Karna said what? You need both, and they sent it to Rav in Surah. Good. So Rav is getting Shmuel Shita. That's not Shmuel Shita. He's getting Shmuel saying, I'm wondering how in the world do you need get and need miyun, right? How in the world do you need get and miyun? That's what he's getting. And he's getting Karna saying you need both. So this is what was sent to what? To Rav. Okay? This was what was sent to Rav. So what happened? Says the Gemara, Shadrul Kamei de Rav, they sent it in front of Rav, and Amalahu, Rav said, Elokim, Eloshin Shruah, Tzricha get v'tzricha miyin, you need both. The Chas Leila Zare and Chas V'Shalom to the children, the Abba Barabba, that's the father of Shmuel. Shmuel knows Abba Barabba is Shmuel. The name of Hachi, that he should wonder about this halacha, why you don't need getting miyin. Again, the Lashon of, it doesn't make any sense. That how Chas v'Shalom that Shmuel should say such a thing, and Shmuel in fact agreed with Rav that you need both. It was Karna that they switched around. The time of my taka. What's the reason you need both? So Amar Avacha Breda Avika Tzricha get. You know what you need to get for the katana? Shem Nisratza Av Kidushin. Maybe when the father hears, he's Megala Das that you know what? I like the shidduch. And therefore you need to get for that possibility. And why tzricha miyin? Shem aloin etzratza av b'kedushin, right? And what it wasn't chal at all. And if she goes out without a get, without miyin, they'll think that what she was mikudeshes to that person. Again, if you don't do something, right, you're going to think she's mikudesh to the person. V'yomru ein kidushin taifsim b'achaysa, and they're not going to say kidushin not taifsim b'achaysa. Guys, look at me. Listen, the Chacham was so brilliant; it was incredible. Rachel the Katana accepts Kidushin. Yaakov hears about it. You know what? I'm very happy with this. You need to get, because he's happy with it. It's a real what? Real Kidushin. Okay. Let's say he's not happy with it. So what is it? It's garnished. So people see she's not getting a get. People say she's not getting Kidushin, right? And what are they going to say? If you don't do mian, why are they going to say she's mekudeshes, right? And let's say a person comes along and is mekadesh the sister, and they're going to say, 1 second, Kedushin is not typhus, right? To you, who's mekadesh the sister, but really Kedushin was typhus because it was a nothing. So therefore, what does mian do? Mian shows they were never married, and therefore it takes off the possibility of people saying that Kedushin won't be typhus with the sister. That this guy, this guy would mekadesh the sister. That this guy would mekadesh the sister, right? He can't be mekadesh the sisters. It's unbelievable. Amr of Nachman, when Shmuel says that the Ketanis miskudeshes, right? For who says shidchu, it's with the father. The shidduch was read. It was spoken about. The shidduch was read. It's not someone out of the blue. Ula amar afilu miyan ein tzricha. The Ketana that was mekadesh shloile das baila, the dasavia is not even in miyan, and we're not chayish for the kedushin at all. Afa gab the shidchu. They asked even what that he spoke to shidduch. Man the masniha, loy masniha. No, it's not. No, the one who learned out that the one who said earlier that the husha shitcha, Ula wasn't discussing that. In Achinami, Ula would be maida can sign if they're speaking the shidduch that you would need a get. He said his din when there wasn't shidduch spoken. Ikad the army others say Ama Ula katanish and iskacha shloila dasavia afilu mian ein tzricha. You don't even mian. Why? Because if there's no shidduchim, nothing to talk about, she's a katana. No person is going to be chayish for the kedushin of a katana. Okay, Maser Rav Kahana. So ask the following question. Okay, going back to Yavamis, the first Mishnah in Yavamis, 15 cases. We only need one case. A man marries his niece. The man dies. The niece is falling to her father now. It's right. If there's a tzara, the tzara is off the hook. Why? Because she's a tzara serva. Right. It's pita. Good. Now. For Kulan, all of the 15 in Mesu, if the Erva dies, or Imianu, or refuses the marriage. So let's say the father married her off, but she was a katana. Yeah? Now she refuses the marriage. So therefore, he dies, the father now would be able to do mian to the tzara. Not mian, do yibum to the tzara. The Kulan and Mesa Oiniskarshu, Shinimsu Islandist, Sarasei Mutaris, that Saras would be permitted, they wouldn't have the Patur of Sarvis Erva. Now, the Kitshaman, who is Makadish, this daughter, that she could do Mian? Elema, the Kitshavia, and Mian Sagila, get Ma'al boy. If a father marries off his daughter to his brother, right, she's a full-fledged Eishes Ish, Mian's not going to work, it's Kedushin Deraisa. It's speaking the Sati Lishazeh. Elolav, it must be that what? The Kitsha Ihi Nafsha. She was Makadish herself. And what does it say? The Ketani de boy Mion. It's Kasha on Ula, who says you don't need Mion. Says Gemara, who Moiselo, Mufarikla, Rav Kana asked it, Rav Kana answered it. Kigon Shenasaloi Maisa Yislema Bechaya. She became a Yislema Bechaya. What happened was that she got married and her husband died, and the father can't marry her off again, and she marries herself off again. Again, if she gets married the first time, Kedushin de Rabbanon, you need mion. If the father marries her off the first time, Kedushin, you need a get. What happens if the father marries her off and the husband dies? Or the husband divorces her, and she's still a katana. And now she marries herself off, she can do mion. That's the case. So Mamela, that's not the case in the discussion. The case on the discussion is when the first time, right, she can't marry herself off. Once over here, the second time, that we're not discussing that.